In an era where satellite imagery can pinpoint any rooftop on Earth and the internet connects billions of people within seconds, the existence of North Sentinel Island remains a magnificent paradox. Nestled in the Bay of Bengal as part of India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands, this small, forest-draped landmass is home to the Sentinelese, the most isolated and pristine hunter-gatherer tribe left on the planet. Unscathed by the relentless march of modern civilization, they stand as the ultimate symbol of human isolation, guarding their shores with fierce, unwavering determination. The story of the Sentinelese is a living testament to human endurance and early migration. Anthropologists and geneticists estimate that their ancestors were part of the first great human migrations out of Africa, settling in the Andaman archipelago approximately 50,000 to 60,000 years ago. While the rest of humanity navigated through the agricultural revolution, the rise and fall of empires, industrialization, and the digital age, the Sentinelese remained on their 60-square-kilometer island, protected by a treacherous, shallow coral reef that naturally deterred maritime exploration. They have successfully maintained a completely closed lineage and culture for tens of thousands of years. Contrary to popular misconceptions that equate uncontacted tribes with primitive farming, the Sentinelese are pure hunter-gatherers. Aerial observations have revealed no evidence of agriculture or cultivation. Their survival relies entirely on the bounties of the dense tropical forest and the surrounding ocean. They hunt wild pigs, birds, and lizards while foraging for fruits, roots, and wild honey. At sea, they expertly navigate the shallow, calm waters within the protective reef, using narrow outrigger canoes carved from single tree trunks. These rudimentary vessels are propelled by long wooden poles rather than oars, perfectly adapted for coastal fishing and turtle hunting, though entirely unsuited for the deep, open ocean. Their living arrangements further reflect this nomadic, highly sustainable lifestyle. Rather than building permanent villages, they construct temporary communal shelters with slanted roofs, woven from large palm leaves, allowing them to move seamlessly across the island as resources dictate. It is a common fallacy to label the Sentinelese as a Stone Age people. In reality, they have demonstrated remarkable adaptability and ingenuity, stepping into their own unique Iron Age. Although their island lacks natural metal ores, and they possess no metallurgical smelting knowledge, the tribe has learned to scavenge scrap metal from the outside world. Following the grounding of the modern cargo ship Primrose on their coral reef in 1981, the Sentinelese systematically harvested iron and steel from the rotting wreck. Utilizing a technique known as cold forging, they use heavy, smooth stones as hammers and anvils to shape, flatten, and sharpen the salvaged metal at room temperature. This brilliant adaptation has allowed them to upgrade their traditional wooden and bone-tipped weapons into highly lethal, iron-tipped arrows and spears. Because no outsider has ever established a peaceful, sustained dialogue with them, the Sentinelese language remains a complete mystery to modern linguists. It is so distinct that even indigenous tribes from neighboring Andaman Islands cannot understand a single word, indicating an evolutionary linguistic divergence spanning millennia. Their population size is equally enigmatic, with the dense jungle canopy making accurate aerial counts impossible. Current estimates by the Indian government suggest a population ranging anywhere from 40 to 150 individuals. Based on the structures of similar isolated hunter-gatherer groups, anthropologists believe they operate within a highly egalitarian society, devoid of formal chiefs or rigid hierarchies, where survival depends entirely on communal cooperation and deep familial bonds. To the outside world, the defining characteristic of the Sentinelese is their absolute, often violent, rejection of contact. Anyone who attempts to breach their shores, from wayward fishermen and the American missionary John Allen Chow in 2018, to Indian government helicopters dropping relief supplies after the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, is predictably met with a hail of arrows. While some may hastily label this hostility as savage, it is, in fact, a deeply rational survival mechanism. History offers a grim justification for their defensive posture. In 1880, a British naval officer named Maurice Vidal Portman landed on the island and kidnapped an elderly Sentinelese couple and 4 children in the name of science. The elders quickly succumbed to modern diseases to which they had no immunity, and the children were returned to the island with gifts, potentially introducing a devastating epidemic to the rest of the tribe. Today, due to their extreme isolation, the Sentinelese lack antibodies against common global pathogens. A simple flu, measles, or chickenpox virus brought by an outsider could trigger an apocalyptic extinction event for their entire civilization. Their drawn bows are not merely acts of blind aggression. They are the ultimate biological and cultural defense. When a Sentinelese warrior stood on the beach and fired an arrow at a hovering rescue helicopter following the 2004 tsunami, the message was profound and unmistakable. We are surviving, and we do not need your help. Recognizing this profound vulnerability, the Indian government has formally adopted an eyes-on, hands-off policy. A strict exclusion zone of 3 nautical miles is heavily enforced around the island by the Indian Navy and Coast Guard to deter poachers, thrill seekers, and missionaries. The Sentinelese are not a backward people waiting to be civilized by the modern world. They are the sovereign masters of their own ecosystem, having survived natural disasters and the test of time without contributing to global pollution or large-scale warfare. The fact that no camera lens has ever fully captured their daily lives is perhaps their greatest triumph. As the eternal guardians of the ocean, the Sentinelese remind a hyper-connected world of a crucial, humbling boundary. Sometimes, the most profound act of respect, empathy, and preservation we can offer another culture is simply to leave them alone.